Delaware State Hornets and your very own Howard University Lady Bison. Ladies and gentlemen, this time we ask that you please rise. The gentleman who removed. Now, ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we will be introducing the starting lineup beginning with the visitors. First up, wearing number 11, Fairfield, Illinois, Kia Coleman.
After 2 weeks off, the Bison are back on the court here at Burr Gymnasium to try to run their winning streak to 3 games in a row. Hey, everybody, I'm Ryan Pierce. Kira Carter is with me. Thanks for joining us on this Saturday afternoon. The Howard Bison, 3-1 in conference play. They're taking on the Delaware State Hornets, who have lost their last 4 games. And Kira, for the Bison this year, the story has been their talented freshman class. Out of the 7, it's an incredible number. Newcomers of the week, the Bison have 5 of those this year in the MEAC.
Yeah, when you think of freshmen, the 2 names that come to mind for Howard are Ajane Hutton and Kaya Creek. They have made such a big impact in their first season with the Bison, and they continue to work hard and produce.
Let's look at the starting lineups. We'll start with the Bison as Ajane Hutton, the star freshman. We talked about getting her name called right there. 3-time MEAC Rookie of the Week. Ayanna Warren, the sophomore point guard, joins her. She's had a very good year. Kaya Creek is the shooting guard, the freshman from Mount Pleasant, Maryland, averaging over 10 points per game. Jayla Thornton, we'll talk a lot about her. We know about Jayla Thornton, the all-time leader in three-pointers made in Bison history. And then Brooklyn Fort Davis is in the post, the 5'11 center from Chicago. Their opponents, the Delaware State Hornets, they've got a talented roster, 9 seniors, a lot of veterans. They've struggled over the past couple of weeks, losing some close games, looking to rebound today. They are led by, their leading scorer actually comes off the bench, Shreya Collins. The player to watch out is Deja Harris, coming off a 21-point game against North Carolina A&T. Mimi Bullock joins her in the starting lineup, along with Demi Moore, number 14. Kiana Coomber, the 6'1" senior, wears number 11. And then their point guard, one of the conference leaders in assists, Janasia Law, rounds out the starting 5. So a balanced group, some size, 3 players, 6 feet tall.
Yeah, and they're hungry for a win. Coppin State hasn't felt what a win is since January 5th, so they're going to come out from the jump and be aggressive. As we see, Howard has already committed 1 turnover during this game, so the Hornets are very hungry.
And Tykeer, that's something that the Hornets do very well. They don't turn the ball over. They force a lot of turnovers. Their shooting percentage hasn't been great, but if you turn the ball over, Howard could be in for a long afternoon, even if they are the favorites on paper.
And that is an area where Howard has struggled with those turnovers and unforced turnovers at that. But one thing that I like about Howard coming out into this game, they're in a zone where they're moving. The Hornets are not great three-point shooters. but they can attack the basket as we see right now.
That shot was altered by Hutton, one of the top defenders in the MEAC. Just a freshman, pulls down the rebound. She's top 5 in boards this year in conference play. Now Ayanna Warren, the sophomore point guard, what a year she had. She's taken over that leading spot at point, but turned it over in 2 quick turnovers for the Bison.
And again, unforced turnovers. Ayanna Warren, she's a smart enough guard to know she didn't have numbers at that moment, just kicked that one out. But maybe it's just some nerves and settling into this game since they have had 2 weeks off.
Hutton got the block to Thornton. Open 3 short. And it's pulled down by Bullock, the senior from Anniston, Alabama.
And, Ryan, it's tough. Your conference schedule is not the same as the season before. You have times where you have 2 weeks off. A game can be postponed. It can get canceled at any time due to COVID. So both teams just probably trying to get their legs up under them in these opening minutes.
And a travel is called on Bullock, and that's a big point, Kira, today. We want to watch to see how these 2 teams start off. Neither has played in 2 weeks. And, again, it's just a reminder of how different this season is. Bison had that great sweep against Morgan State, and they got a break for a couple weeks and try to, or rather Coppin State, and come back and be fresh against Delaware State.
Yeah, it's probably really hard to be a college basketball player right now, and it's kind of going up against the unknown. You never know what might happen to your game, but you're expected to show up and play.
Hutton couldn't connect with the left hand, and now it's Janasia Law, one of the conference leaders in assists, bringing it up, and it's stolen underneath by Creek. One of those star freshmen for Howard that have really been great for Ty Grace's roster. 3 from Thornton. Got it. She's now 1 for 2, and the Bison score first.
And then here go to Bison on the board. Jayla Thornton, we got to see a good game from her. Last time out, she struggled, but her team still managed to get to the W. So it's just a credit to see how deep Coach Ty Grace's team is.
Yeah, 11 points on 4 for 8 shooting last time against Coppin State. She was slowed down by foul trouble. On the other end, a foul on the aforementioned Jayla Thornton, her first this afternoon, as that will lead to a couple free throws here for... As a couple free throws coming up here for Delaware State. So Thornton opens up the game with a 3. Bison up 3-0. Delaware State trying to get on the board, and they do as the free throw is popped in. Demi Moore, their post player, the 6-foot senior from Alabama. One of those rare players to start every game for Delaware State, as they've really tried to work a couple different starting lineups to find out the right combination.
And I couldn't have said it better myself. When you're losing games, you're trying to figure out what is going to work for my team. And head coach David Caputo, he's been doing a good job of trying to throw different bodies out there and giving teams different looks and trying to see who's going to be the players on his team that he can rely on the floor.
It was actually Kiana Coomber making those 2 free throws, and then a foul underneath is whistled on Harris. Deja Harris started the season on the bench. She's a transfer, a graduate player. Joined Delaware State from Cal State Bakersfield. Had 21 points against North Carolina A&T. Remember, they're the top team in the MEAC. Right behind them is Howard. And that's what we're playing for today. The Bison trying to keep pace with North Carolina A&T.
And, yeah, North Carolina A&T, they sit at 4-0 right now. The Bison with only 1 loss at 3-1. But Morgan State also has a record of 3-1 as well. But let's remember this season, Ryan, they're cut into different divisions. So Howard won't actually see North Carolina A&T. There's the Northern Division and the Southern Division, and Howard is a part of that North.
And because Delaware State is with the Bison in the North, this is the first of 4 games these 2 teams will play before the end of the year. They're going to become very familiar with each other. Right now, trying to feel things out. Here's a 3 from Coomber. Misfiring. Putback is altered underneath, but it still goes down, and Delaware State picks up their first lead. That was Harris underneath, it looked like. Their first 2 today. Now the Bison down for the first time today. Jayla Thornton, their only scorer. A slow start for Howard, who's second in the MEAC in points. Thornton looking for a second 3 and gets it. She's 2 for 4 from outside today.
When she's feeling good, it's always a good day for the Bison, so you like to see her hitting on all cylinders, especially early in the game.
Jayla Thornton, fourth in the MEAC in points, fourth in three-pointers. That percentage, last year at times it was up and down. This year the senior has been so spot on from deep as that swatted away underneath. Chrislyn Marsh checking in the game, and she's picking up where she left off 2 weeks ago, earning MEAC Defensive Player of the Week. Bison up 6-4 on a pair of threes from Jayla Thornton. And talking to Coach Ty Grace, Marsh has accepted that role off the bench. She started the year banked up. She's played the last 4 games and is starting to get her sea legs underneath her, I think.
Well, Marsh, she's a junior. She has that leadership role. I feel like a player like her, it doesn't matter if I'm coming off the bench or I'm starting. She's looking to make an impact. And when you get to a certain age, it's just about winning. I want to win by all means, and I think Coach Ty Grace's team has bought into that, because some nights you won't see Kaya Creek on the floor as much, but she still shows up, and, she's trying to give it her best because everybody on that Bison team just wants to win.
Harris driving and called for travel. So back-to-back travels. The first was on Ayanna Warren for the Bison. Her second turnover. And then on the other end, steps from Harris. Bison keep that 2-point lead. Low-scoring start. Both teams coming off 2-week breaks. Neither have played since the middle of January.
So one thing I will wonder is, what does the practice schedule look like? Because you don't have to pound your team every single day, but is that beneficial or not, because your team is not getting that run that they need due to having such long breaks in between games?
Tykira, whatever Coach Grace was doing for Jayla Thornton, it clearly paid off. She's got 8 early points.
Yeah, she might be resting her legs. Flicking her wrist that night in bed, getting her jump shot ready.
She seems to be the one that has come out most fresh. She has all 8 of the Bison's points, and they lead by 4.
Well, we think about it, too. The only senior out there on the squad, seniority. She needed that rest, probably.
So vital today, especially. Delaware State's a veteran team. 9 seniors, 1 graduate player. The Bison, all they have is Jayla Thornton, very young, yet still a solid record at 7-3. Here's Marsh, the sophomore, goes with the strong left hand, and a blocking foul is called as the whistle goes against Mimi Bullock, who stepped in front of Marsh, and a media timeout. 5 minutes in, 8 points from Jayla Thornton. The Bison lead by 4 on the Bison Sports Network. Bison up 8-4 against the Delaware State Hornets. Thanks for joining us on the Bison Sports Network. Tykira, Jayla Thornton, quick start, 8 points. She's been the story so far.
Yeah, she's definitely killing early on in this game, and she came out a little bouncy and just confident in her shooting. I feel like when a shooter steps on that floor and they're confident, and you see that one go in, it's a recipe to have a good game.
Chrislyn Marsh at the free throw line. She's got a couple coming here. Yeah, we've heard about all these great freshmen for the Bison over the past couple weeks as Marsh swishes in the first one. You had Kaya Creek lead the Bison in points last weekend against Coppin State in Game 2. Hutton did it in Game 1. Now Jayla Thornton's like, wait a second, I'm the senior. I'm going to come out and show you that I'm still the go-to player on this team.
Hey, for sure, and that's what you want to see out of Jayla Thornton. We've talked about so many times her leadership and how she's been able to step up and work with the young group. But I also credit the younger players for not being hard to work with because they're so talented.
An open look at the top is long from Lyric Turner, who just came in. And Warren has it now for Howard. Marsh, quick pass down low to Hutton. Hutton to Creek. Freshman to freshman. The driving basket is off the mark, and it's pulled in by Delaware State.
So someone who we won't see this game, who had an excellent game against Coppin State, is Gia Thorpe. Saw her down there with the sling on. So, she comes back from injury, makes an impact off the bench as that Energizer Bunny, and then she's down again. So, the Howard is losing another player that brings a lot of energy.
Bison a little bit thin this weekend against Delaware State. The Hornets have had injury issues themselves. We were unsure if we would see Zoe Holmes, their post player. She's not out there today. We'll see about tomorrow. She's one of their best rebounders, as a foul is called on Marsh after the rebound was pulled down by Coomber. And now some mass substitutions for Delaware State.
Hornets have triggered in. They'll be moving from my left to right.
So we see Bison out here putting on that press that we love to see so much. Typically slows teams down.
Here's Collins, their leading scorer. She's been coming off the bench wearing number 3, the right elbow pull-up jumper. And the rebound is pulled in by Marsh. Howard on the fast break. On the other end, it is Kiana Harris, another one of those freshmen.
And Kanaya Harris, she's a guard that can come in and give Warren a blow. So I like the fact that she comes in. She's not looking to do too much, mainly just run the offense efficiently.
Thornton's shot underneath was altered, and it's pulled away by Delaware State. Pushing on the other end is Turner, and she lost control underneath, and it will belong to Howard.
And Turner, that was a great take to the basket. Just a softer touch probably would have got her to 2 easy points. But even better defense by the Bison's player that got back. I believe that was Destiny Howe.
So Howe will throw it in. She's been playing some more minutes. At least she did with Gia Thorpe being injured. Then Thorpe came back. Howe saw her minutes reduced, and now expect to see her get some more time.
And Howell, she's a player I expect to just watch her improve over the years with the Bison. She has the size, sitting at 5'11", guard on the wing, so that's one thing that we like about her game, just long and super athletic.
Long pass across court. It goes back to Collins. To the corner. The 3 is splashed in by Turner. She was confident about that as soon as it left her fingertips. Turner only shooting 15% from the outside, but was able to connect there.
Yeah, Lyric was ready. Her feet were set, and she said, you know what, I'm going to let this one fly. If Howard is going to sit in a zone, the Hornets are going to have to hit a couple to try to make them come out of it and match up with them man-to-man.
First point since the early minutes, and an offensive foul called on Marsh. The 4th turnover for the Bison. Going back to Lyric Turner, she had 53 three-pointers last year, shooting just 15% this year. At one point, her shot's going to start to come back. It's so much tougher this season because of the time off because of COVID.
Sometimes shooters just go through slumps, junior year slump. It's a real thing. It happens sometimes, but you just got to stay confident and make it through them. And we see Kristen Marsh, she had to head to the bench because she picked up her 2nd foul on that last possession.
A smooth move by Melissa Sam, who torched Howard last year, getting to the rim. And it's 9-9, a quick 5-0 run for the Hornets. Bison try to calm that down. Getting her own rebound is Hutton, and she draws contact. We'll see if it's a shooting foul.
And Melissa Sam, she thought she was there, but she was inside the restricted area, which is why I believe she got that block called on her. But even better job by Anjanae Hutton, just sticking with it and following her shot.
Mimi Bullock comes back in for the Hornets. As Anna Warren checks back in for Howard. A couple starters. Anjanae Hutton at the free throw line, averaging over 12 points per game. That's 8th in the MEAC as a freshman. The 3-time MEAC Rookie of the Week. She has one more coming. As Hutton tries to break the 9-9 tie, Bison were up 9-4. A quick 5-0 run from Delaware State as Hutton gets the 2nd. And the lead is 1 with 1:40 left in this first quarter. So Daikira about 8.5 minutes in. Howard looked rusty at first. I think to get out of that, they're trying to play aggressive.
Yeah, and that's what you have to do settling in. You saw Coach Ty Gray. She didn't start the game in a press, but I think she saw her team was a little laggy and not moving on the flight of the ball and things like that at first hand. So what do? You make them play some full court defense to get them active and moving a bit more.
Naomi Shorts, who just subbed in for Delaware State, the 10th player to get on the court for the Hornets. They sub fast and furious, is in trouble in the backcourt, gets past Howe. And now they'll reset with 20 seconds left to shoot. A field goal gives the Hornets the lead. They're trying to snap a 4-game losing streak. Bison trying to pick up their 3rd straight win. Here's a look from the top of the key, and a travel is called before the shot as Shorts is whistled for the turnover.
And Short, she is one of the three-point shooters on the Hornets team that can knock that shot down. Her feet just weren't up under her, but she shoots about 40% from long range.
With her under a minute left in the quarter, Harris, here's a look from Howell, her 3rd three-point attempt. That one was halfway down and rimmed out. Destiny Howell getting some looks. We'll see if they start to fall. Hornets trying to grab the lead before the end of the quarter. Michaela Manette says no thank you as she swats it out of bounds. That's her specialty, 5th in the conference in blocks per game.
And I can see her going into first at some point because she's just so active. She does a great job of walling up and not fouling on those block shots. And here goes Shorts with another three-pointer off the mark.
Hornets getting some looks as a couple players tumble to the floor. And it will belong to Howard. They got 32 seconds left, so about a 2-second difference between shot and game.
And the Hornets, they want to put on their press of their own to try to slow the Hornets down. We know the Hornets specialty, the Bison specialty is really getting up the floor and scoring quick buckets. They're better when they don't have to set up their offense and really can play transition game.
As a foul is called, that's only the 4th. So now the Bison will inbound from underneath as Howe will throw it in. Jayla Thornton's the story today. 8 of their 10 points have come from Jayla Thornton. A balanced scoring attack from Delaware State. Destiny Howell's been trying to get something to go. Let's see if she can earn it from the free throw line as she draws a foul.
She's super athletic. What I like about her, you come off the bench, you're a bit cold, but just trying to assert herself into the game in a positive way. All her looks have been good. I'm not mad at any of the shot attempts. I love the fact that she's being aggressive.
And I know we're going to see a lot of Destiny Howell with Gia Thorpe out today. We'll see what Thorpe's status is going forward, but she missed early parts of the year and now banged up again as Howell rims off the free throw.
Howell, she has to really lock in, though. Like we said, getting the looks and just coming short at this point. The free throws, that's free money. We shouldn't be missing those. I don't like missed free throws, but she makes that second one.
So the lead is 2 for Howard as we approach the end of the first quarter. Again, that full court press. Sam gets it in the front and stepping the sideline. Bison force a turnover.
Yeah, and that was great defense by the Bison, and Sam, she just didn't notice where she was on the floor. I thought it was a great job by Shorts being patient and breaking that press. But if you're Sam, that's just an unforced turnover, and you're allowing for the Bison to potentially get the last possession of this first quarter.
Jayla Thornton with 8 points. 5 to shoot. Back over to Thornton with a second. I don't know if she realizes it, and the quarter ends with the Bison not getting a shot up. But they do lead by 2, 11-9 after 1.
And Ryan, I was really excited about that play that was developing at the end of the quarter. They had some wheel action going, trying to give Jayla Thornton an open 3. Execution-wise, the play ran beautifully, but she just didn't have enough space to get the shot off. Good defense by the Hornets.
Bison trying to build on their lead when we come back on the Bison Sports Network. Bison lead 11-9 to start the second quarter. Ryan Pierce, Tykira Carter. Right now we're keeping a close eye on Morgan State, who, Tykira, you said earlier, they are neck and neck with Howard in that Northern Division as they defeated Coppin State earlier today 69-51. The NC-A&T and North Carolina Central game have been postponed, but Morgan State defeating Coppin State 69-51, so Bison try to keep pace with Morgan State here today. Howard 3-1 as the pass is down low to a wide open cutting, I believe that was Deja Harris. Hustle play there by Manette, able to earn the foul on Coomber. As she'll earn a trip to the free throw line. Michaela Manette, who's kind of fallen behind Brooklyn Fort Davis for that starting center position. Excellent defensive player this year. Trying to earn some more points from the free throw line, has one more coming.
She's another player where it's tough. That center position is just so deep for the Bison. You have 3 potential people who could play there, and really 4 if you want to throw Anjanae Hutton into the mix.
Sure.
So it's not a bad problem to have if you're Coach Ty Grace. You know, at any given day you can switch up the starting lineup, or you have some bodies that you can throw in there and give you excellent production.
Manette did have 6 points in 17 minutes against Coppin State, trying to build on that positive performance. Right now, the Hornets trying to build on a strong start to this second quarter and take the lead. Here's Sam open from the foul line. Rebound pulled down by Hutton, and another foul on Coomber. What is that on her? 2, 3? She's been very active.
That's her third.
Yeah.
So it's looking like, or excuse me, her second, perhaps.
Yeah,
that's her second, so she's on her way to the bench. It feels like she's picked up 3.
Gianna Coomber's had a good start offensively for Delaware State, but she's been a little too aggressive defensively as she picks up her second foul. Here's Warren as she works off the pick from Hutton, and now Manette top of the key. Thorin with 15 to shoot. She had 8 in that first quarter, has been quiet since. Warren beelines the rim, a little bit strong. Was able to reestablish to get the rebound. Jayla lets the defender fly by and connects from 3. She's now 3 for 5 from the outside.
And credit Ayanna Warren, saving the play. She misses the free throw, gets her own rebound. And we're going to credit the Hornets for that layup right there, scored by Moore coming off the bench. 2 points.
Yeah, Demi Moore, a couple easy baskets in the second quarter to make it a 1-point game. Bison on top behind Jayla Thornton's 11 points.
Bison on top. They'll trigger in. They're in the home white. Hornets, they're in the dark uniform.
14-13, Jayla Thornton has the Bison on top by 1 with her 11 early points. Looking for 14. She's got 14. Jayla Thornton is sizzling 4 threes.
Man, she is on fire. Her feet are setting, like you said, as a shooter. Once you see that first 3 go in, it could be a great game and great day. And Jayla Thornton up to 14 points already with a lot of ball game to go. You love to see it from her.
Yeah, we're not even 13 minutes into this game, and Thornton's got 14. 14 of the Bison, 17. The Hornets are hanging close, though, despite this onslaught of threes from Thornton, as that triple is long. Rebound by Hutton. Thornton pushing. You know, she's eyeballing that three-point arc. She is. Pulls up. Got another one.
Yes, sir.
My goodness, Jayla Thornton. 17 for her. I'm assuming she'll shoot this next possession as well.
I'm pretty sure of it. And if you ask me, go ahead and go for it. And it's one thing about Jayla. You know the heat check is coming.
I think that was it. And she's still on fire.
And at her favorite spot around that Under Armour logo.
Jayla Thornton, 5 threes. She's one of the conference leaders in that category. She's 4th. As the ball is knocked out of bounds. And they're going to say it was a foul underneath on Howard. So the shot clock resets to 20 seconds. And Law will throw it in. Quiet so far, Janasia Law, their leading assist player. One of their best scorers as well. The turnaround shot is off, and Hutton pulls down the rebound. Ayanna Warren's pushing in the front court. Warren high left. Quick pass down to the net. It's knocked out of bounds. It will stay with Howard with 23 to shoot. Jayla Thornton, 17 points, 5 3-pointers already.
And we'll put this into perspective. In her game against Richmond, she made 5 3-pointers on 13 attempts. So she's doing better today. Already has 5, like we said, with 6:57 left to go in the second quarter. And the Bison, they're eyeing her. They're trying to get that basketball to her whenever they can because she's feeling good.
A double screen for Thornton. Ball is now in the hands of Ayanna Warren. Hutton goes to her right, goes to the rim, and draws the foul. Earning a trip to the free throw line, Demi Moore picks up the whistle.
That was a great take. What I love about Hutton's game as a young freshman, she can face up and put the basketball on the ground and attack downhill. Not a lot of freshmen can do that, especially in the MEAC conference. If it's fair to say, she just has such a athletic build and bounce to her game.
Coach Gray said she was one of the most athletic players she's ever recruited. In high school, she was a 7A Defensive Player of the Year at Cedar Hills High School in Texas. But she's developed an offensive game, one of the top scorers in the MEAC, just a complete transformation of a player. A good free throw shooter as well, 70% this year, and the freshman connects on both. Bison now up by 9, their biggest lead so far, as Delaware State needs to stop the bleeding here. Bison threatening to run this one and break it open. But the Hornets, every time Howard has gained a little advantage, they've cut back into it. Moore underneath. Nice feed. The shot is deflected, though, by Harris. And here comes Howard, as it was missed by Bullock underneath. Now to Hutton. She spins on Moore, gets her own rebound, and puts it in. 4 straight for Ajane Hutton. She's starting to heat up, and the lead is 11 for Howard.
Ajane Hutton, I would describe her as a program changer. Even at this young time in her career, the things that she does, she can attract more players like her to Howard. And Law comes in with the 2-pointer, nice bunny in the lane to stop the drought for the Hornets.
Ends an 11-0 run for the Bison. The turnaround for Hutton's down. Ajane Hutton, after Jayla Thornton was on fire, Hutton takes over. She's got 6 straight. If it's not Thornton, it's Hutton. Hornets looking for somebody to catch fire themselves, as that is off from Moore. Saved by Thornton. Harris gets it across the timeline. Reads from Coach Grace what the play should be. Bison trying to pick up their 3rd straight win. Harris has room. Harris can't finish. Demi Moore the rebound. Long. Spinning into the front court. Open look from 3 is off from Turner. She hit one from that exact spot in the first quarter.
And if I was Law in that instance, I'm going all the way to the basket. Nobody established I got ball and stopped the basketball. She got all the way to the paint and kicked it out. If I was her, I would have shot that nice little floater.
Law is sometimes too much of a humanitarian, will pass up on open looks. One of the conference's leaders in assists. As Thornton drives, Law tried to draw the charge, and she does. I think that's a right call. Not a ton of contact, but Law was in position.
Law just sold it. She was definitely in the position to take the charge, fell down. It didn't seem like it was much of a push-off, but sometimes that's all it takes to get a charge called.
We had the same angle as the official, and when you're behind the play like that, it's tough to see how much contact is made. But what you can see is the defensive player, are they in position in that case? Yes, and you can see the defensive player fall. Kind of an assumption.
And she was outside of the restricted area,
sure.
So
Law gets the job done. Now Bullock brings it across. Bison still up by 11, though. That is foul number 2 on Jayla Thornton, something to keep in mind as she leads all scorers with 17 points.
And Coach Ty Gray, she trusts her senior, which is why she's going to keep her on the floor right now not to pick up that third foul.
Bullock up top. Bullock puts a move on Creek. Got underneath. Good defense down low from Brooklyn Fort Davis, and she gets the rebound.
It's a little scary when you go up in there against the Bison player. You got 3 people coming at you, all shot blockers.
Howard, one of the best shot-blocking teams in the MEAC. Brooklyn Fort Davis, a big reason why. Pass underneath from Marsh, and a foul is called.
I love that ISO play by the Bison. They run that for Kaya Creek a couple times at games where she just ducks in, and she typically has a smaller defender on her. She can post up down there, although she's a guard. So the ISO play, it works out nicely.
Inbound from Creek. She's been quiet so far. Trying to get on the board, and a foul is called. And it's going to be on Brooklyn Fort Davis going for the rebound, I believe.
I didn't catch that one.
Bison still up by 11, a drought for the Hornets. They haven't scored in the past 3 minutes as we're approaching halftime, 3:45 left to go. Turner has some space and splashes it in. Lyric Turner, her second field goal, and that stops the drought. Quickly, Creek the other way. Offensive foul called as Creek was beelining to the basket and knocked over the defender.
I think it's both a blessing and a curse because Kaya Creek, when her mind is made up, she just goes. And that's something that I think, she'll learn over time as she continues to grow. But the defender was set in that instance. She could have brought it back out. It was no rush.
Smart player, valedictorian at National Christian Academy in Seat Pleasant, Maryland. That time, though, he's got a little over-aggressive. Underneath, the layup is off the mark from Cooper, who's back in with a couple fouls. As the officials are discussing, and it will belong to Howard.
And Coach David Caputo, he's getting fired up because he thought that Comber, she was fouled on that one. So he's real fired up trying to vouch for his players. And sometimes that can fire your team up. You didn't get the foul call. Now you're trying to get more aggressive on the defensive end of the floor. So we'll see how that translates.
Delaware State is looking for someone to score. Bison have a couple players that can put it in. One of them is Hutton. She misfired there. Hornets looking for an answer. It's Sam. She's off the mark. Saved by Collins. As Bison try to call timeout. Did they get it? And she did not have possession of the basketball. So a good hustle play there by Delaware State as it was saved by Sam, and Turner just couldn't quite get the timeout.
Yeah, and it was a good thought to have to be able to be falling in the motion of falling on the ground and calling timeout at the same time. That's a hard thing to do as a basketball player.
Iowa Warren quiet first half. Open from the baseline. 3 is in for Brooklyn Fort Davis.
And it's a good day when the post player steps outside and knocks down a three-pointer.
That's her first 3 this year. She was 0 for 2 entering this game. And the lead for the Bison is back to 12. Trying to respond is Cooper. She cannot. But the rebound is pulled down by Turner. Open look this time is short. Cooper gets in the lane and scores.
And that was a way to follow the shot. As we see, the Bison are doing the right thing about sitting in that zone. 17% from 3 for the Hornets, but it's the second chance opportunities that could hurt the Bison if they don't rebound.
Warren turned it over. Collins kicking. Turner steps. I know if you're a Hornets fan, you're thinking, shoot that ball. Because Turner, that's her specialty, the outside shot.
Yeah, and I like the idea. I think her thought process was, we're shooting 17% from 3 right now. Shots aren't falling. Maybe I get to the basket. So, it's kind of a two-thought thing. If you're not confident in it at that moment, go to the hoop, although she turned the basketball over.
Creek's deep 2. Tough shot is pulled down by Shorts. Neither team shooting great. As Coomber's got space center paint. Got a nice roll. Neither team shooting well. Hornets now at 25%. Bison at 32%. The difference has been the three-point shooting. The Bison, behind Jayla Thornton's 5 3-pointers, are shooting 50%.
But we haven't seen her get a touch in the past few possessions. Keep going to that shooter and Jayla Thornton if you can. Create for her, run plays as we see her coming across that baseline right now.
The Hornets have whittled the lead down to 8, trying to get a stop, and they do. Another offensive foul call against Jayla Thornton. That's her third foul, so that's a developing storyline as we approach halftime. And now the Hornets can make this a two-possession game.
And she does that sometimes. That is completely a force. If you don't have the shot on the initial, Jayla Thornton's smart enough to know, just kick it back out and reset, and they could run something else for you. You don't have to force that. Pick up your third foul. Now you have to watch your team from the bench. That wasn't a very smart play by the senior.
So let's see if the Hornets can take advantage of Jayla Thornton on the bench, and she'll likely be hampered by foul trouble in the second half. She had 4 fouls at the end of the Bison's last game against Coppin State. Center paint, it's Sam. Hutton the rebound. Bison can take their time. Just under a minute left to go in this half. Creek, a quiet half. The freshman can't connect. And Destiny Howell knocked it out of bounds, but they're going to say it was last touched by Turner. As Delaware State will get a couple subs in. 20 seconds on the shot clock for the Bison. 42.4 left in the first half. So the Hornets will get probably the final shot unless Howard goes for a 2-for-1. Dangerous pass stolen by Collins, who's got an easy 2. Coach Grace won't be happy about that.
No, especially a turnover on the inbounds like that. And like you said, Ryan, the word to describe that play was, in fact, lazy. We'll see if they can make up for it on this end of the floor as Howell finally knocks down a 3-pointer. That's a great shot by the freshman.
Nice smooth jumper. She's 1 for 4 from the outside, but they've all looked good. As the lead is back to 9, a little bit of breathing room for Howard. Collins tries to respond, cannot. Hutton the rebound. Bison have 10. They'll get one more shot here if they work quickly. Now 5 seconds to shoot. Warren tries to Euro step, lost control. Coomber heaves. And the half ends. So the Bison, behind a Destiny Howell 3-pointer, get a little breathing room. Howard shoots great from the outside, 54% in the half to give them the 32-23 advantage. We'll break and go to halftime. Bison up by 9, trying to win their 3rd straight on the Bison Sports Network. As we start the second half, Bison lead Delaware State 32-23 on the Bison Sports Network. Bison trying to keep pace with Morgan State in the Northern Division of the MEAC Conference, as Morgan State beat Coppin State earlier today 69-51. So Morgan State, if I have this right, Takira, they're now 4-1, I think, in conference play. Bison 3-1, trying to keep pace with them.
Trying to even the score in today's game. Yeah, absolutely.
Bison will not play tomorrow, so we're learning that the game has been postponed because of some bad weather coming to D.C. Just kind of another point in 2020-21 season where you never know what to expect, so that game will get postponed. We're not sure if it will be when the Bison play Delaware State twice at the end of the year or when that will be, if it will be rescheduled, but we'll have to wait and see. Right now, though, Bison trying to take care of business at home, leading 32-23. Big reason why, 3-pointers. Howard has made 7 of them, shooting 53%.
And the big story behind that 3-point shooting, Jayla Thornton, who came out firing, 5 3-pointers made already in this game. We know that her career high is 9 3-pointers, so let's see if she can make it or surpass her career high.
So Takir giving you the good update there. We're on Jayla Thornton career record watch. Her record for a game is 9. She's got 5 right now, as that's knocked out of bounds. That should stay with Howard, and it does. And was knocked out by Harris. 6 points for Coomber, number 11 for Delaware State. Nobody else on their team has more than, I guess Turner's got 5. No other starter has more than 2 points. Thornton looking for a 3 to start and connects. There's 6.
And there goes number 6. I'm telling you right now, Ryan, if she makes 10 of them, I might get up and leave the broadcast because that is just amazing.
That'd be a mic drop moment, as Thornton's got 20 points today. On the other end, a triple by Harris, her first from the outside. Harris is coming off a 19-point game against North Carolina A&T, so watch for her to get hot in this second half.
Yeah, and Harris, she can shoot that basketball, so that's the way to go from her to, you hit one, I hit one, let's trade some baskets here. But the Hornets are going to need stops like right there.
Moore the rebound. Delaware State hanging on. They've dropped 4 straight. They've all been close as Moore knifes her way to the rim, and it's a 7-point game. It's actually Law getting the basket. The response on the other end is long for Howard. And Hutton may have got away with a foul. It's rebounded either way by Bullock. Quick pass.
Yeah, I definitely think she got away with a foul on that one. But on the other end, the Hornets, they just keep on pushing. Like we said before, they are hungry for a win. So it's really time for the Bison to respond because the Hornets are doing their job, cutting into a 5-point lead.
A 7-3 start to this second half. Bullock got the score off the assist from Law. And the pass down low is stolen by Coomber. So a sloppy start for Howard outside the Thornton 3. A look from Law. Jayla Thornton will let that one trickle out of play.
And smart job by Jayla Thornton. She knows she has 3 fouls. Coach Ty is trusting her to stay out there on the floor. No need to force anything.
So Coomber for Delaware State, she has 2 fouls. Their leading scorer with 6 points. And then Jayla Thornton, 20 points, but does have 3 fouls. Both numbers to watch. Thornton almost fouled out in the Bison's last game against Coppin State. A quiet afternoon for Warren. The senior Law has kept her in check. Jayla Thornton keeps on cooking. That is 7 threes for Thornton today.
Man, she's on fire. And Coach Ty Gray, such a smart coach, continues to run plays for her. When a player is hot, I think that is the smartest thing to do. Continue to get the basketball in her hands as Law. She travels right there and gives the ball back to the Bison. So let's see. I'm calling Jayla Thornton for number 8 right here, Ryan.
Jayla Thornton, 7 3-pointers. She is 7 for 9 from deep, 8 for 11 overall. Her career high is 9. She is the all-time 3-point leader in Bison program history. And it looks like they're trying for a pick and pop. Good defense from Law, the deflection, and a foul is called as it is whistled on Turner. It's Turner who picks up the foul. Hornets keeping up that intense defense. They struggled shooting-wise, only 32%, but they only find themselves down by 8. Still in striking distance. Plenty of time left, of course, as we're only 3 minutes into the second half. Warren looking for her first basket, and a blocking foul is called on Ayana as she takes some time getting up, goes to the free throw line. Harris picks up the foul, her second. Jayla Thornton has 23 points. She has 23 of the Bison's 38. They're up by 8. Delaware State, a balanced scoring attack. I've hung in this one, trying to snap a 4-game losing streak, but this is a Hornets team that has been in a lot of games this season that they've come up short in. As Warren is on the board, her first points today. Ayana Warren has 10 assists in this game. At least that's what the stat sheet says as she makes the second free throw. What a performance from her.
Yeah, not scoring much, but when you have a three-point shooter like Jayla Thornton out there doing her thing, Anjanae Hutton scoring and making an impact, you don't really need Warren to, score in games like this.
Law able to draw contact as she found her way to the basket. Bison up by 10, with Thornton leading the way with 23 points, 10 assists for Warren. Law trying to inbound, kicks it out. A look from the corner is short. Coomber's putback is through.
So does that get counted as an assist? Because that almost looked like a pass.
We'll have to wait and see what the official score says. Usually when you release it over the head and there's that flick motion like a shot, I think it goes as a shot, but we'll see. As Turner right now isn't sure how to defend Thornton, she picks up another foul. Lyric Turner has her second. Michaela Minette in for Brooklyn Fort Davis. Outside of that, the starters are still out there for the Bison. Warren waiting for the pick from Hutton. Goes away from it, drives the rim, and that is a clear foul that time from Law. Maybe some frustration. That's already foul number 4 on Delaware State in this third quarter.
And yeah, 5 fouls, you're going to be in the bonus the rest of the way. So if you're the Bison, continue to put that basketball on the ground and attack.
Collins spells her teammate Law. And coming in as well as Shorts, wearing number 0 for Delaware State. So Collins, the leading scorer this season for Delaware State's back in. Warren is 3 for 3 from the foul line in this third quarter. Bison trying to pick up their third straight win, stay even with Morgan State at the top of the MEAC North Division, and run their record of 4-1. Delaware State's 1-3 in conference. They still have time to get back in it, though, in this shortened season. They've dropped their last 4, but they're hanging in there against Howard today, down by 10.
Yeah, it's going to take a tough push for the Hornets, but as we can see in this game, one thing that they have exhibited since the game started is fight. And if you can fight and continue to pull it together, good things could happen for them. You just sort of never know.
And Ty, I think that's kind of the strategy right now for Delaware State. Survive this onslaught of three-point shooting as Michaela Minette is whistled for the foul. Turner was driving. From Jayla Thornton, hang in there. Maybe hopes the senior gets cold, and that's when you can make up some ground.
Yeah, that's going to be some big hopes and big dreams, because in this game she hasn't proven to do so thus far.
That one is stolen by Howard in the front court. The layup is down by Wilson, who just checked in and gets a couple points.
And that's a good job by Anaya Wilson. Doesn't receive many minutes on the floor, but again, one of those players that hustles and just plays her role really well.
Now Wilson, only her second field goal this season. The runner in the paint is good for Delaware State, and a timeout is taken by the Hornets as it was dropped in by Collins. Her second field goal today, their leading scorer. Bison up by 10, 44-34, trying to build on that lead when we come back on the Bison Sports Network. Bison up by 10, 44-34, 6:02 left to go in the third quarter. Ryan Pierce, Akira Carter here, and Tykira. Jayla Thornton's got 7 3-pointers today. She needs 3 more for her all-time best, but from what we have, we're doing the math. We're talking with our sports information director, Derek Bryant, here. From what we understand, if she gets 10, that would tie the all-time mark in the entire MEAC conference.
Yes, she would be tied for first place. If she makes 11, she would sit at at the top spot solely alone for most 3-pointers made in the MEAC conference.
As a jump ball is forced in the backcourt. It stays with the Hornets, leading by 10. Again, the MEAC men's and women's tournament will take place March 10th to the 13th. By then, we assume Jayla will have that all-time record, but of course, this season with COVID, anything can happen with postponements. We hope everybody stays healthy and safe over the next couple weeks for both men's and women's teams, and maybe we can get both them in there in the tournament in mid-March. So a lot of time before that, a month and a half, as Delaware State cuts the strong stretch for the Bison. Moore scores, ending a 6-0 run, and the lead's back to 8. Harris off the bench. Now the freshman Hutton trying to go high-low to Manette. Open from the corner. Splashed in for Wilson. She's got 5 points. Her season high.
Yeah, and then like we said, doesn't get many minutes on the floor. Definitely a role player. We haven't seen what she can really do offensively, but that's the way to come out in this game. And that block, look at the head shake. She's like, why would you even try that?
Michaela Manette swatting that shot away. And Tykira, I think we both got a kick out of that. Manette just shaking the head. I think you said it best. Why bring the ball into her house?
Why do it?
Timeout on the floor. Bison up by 11 on the Bison Sports Network. Jayla Thornton has 23 points. She's 7 for 9 for 3. Her career high is 9. We're keeping a close eye on that. 4:51 left to go in the third. Bison on top, 47-36. After Delaware State snapped a 6-0 Bison burst. Wilson knocked down the 3 for Howard to put them back up by 11. Now Coomber back in the game. Draws contact from Hutton, and she'll go to the free throw line. Hutton picks up the foul. 8 points for Coomber. Tykira, she's been, I would say, out of everybody on the Hornets team, the one who has attacked the rim the most efficiently against the Bison today.
Yeah, she's just using her willpower to get into the paint and sticking after it. I think we can say about Coomber, her second chance efforts has really helped the Hornets stay in this one.
She misses the second, though. Stuck on 9 points. Rebound in the corner for Shorts. 20 on the shot clock for Delaware State.
And Coach Ty Gray, she's upset. The great thing about not having fans, you can hear everything that goes on in here, basically. And Coach Ty Grace is like, come on, we got a rebound.
Open from the top of the key. Popped out as Collins couldn't connect. Hutton the board. Harris. Jayla Thornton's got some space. She'll take another 3. That time couldn't drop. She's now 7 for 10. Still not too shabby. Hutton's putback is off, and Sam hauls the rebound. Carl Malone, two-handed pass up the floor is stolen, and a jump ball belongs to the Bison.
So that was, in fact, just a fast sequence of events right there. I was like, the ball went up and down so quickly. Great job and hustle by both teams.
Pace is picking up, but I think both these teams had 2 weeks off. You're a little bit
Right.
rusty coming in. Now they have their legs underneath them. They can start to pick up the pace and work more into their offense. Pass from Harris is too far out of the reach for Howell. Bison tidied up the turnovers to start off this half. They've got a couple, though, in the past few minutes.
And like we said, I think they just need to slow back down and get into their game. We know they're best when they're playing in transition, but the half court at times can be where they struggle. So just slow back down, get into the game. The pace has picked up, and I don't know if it's for better or for worse because both teams have been committing some really frantic-like turnovers.
Sam, who erupted for 15 points against Howard last time they played. She's been held in check. Gets it out to Law, who's playing with a couple fouls. Nice feed. Sam underneath. Cooper feeling it. Connects to Sam.
That was a great pass. Sam, way to show that she was wide open. Just no Bison players in sight. Great job by DSU.
Lead is 8. Almost turned over by Harris. It'll stay with Howard out of the corner. Just when you think the Bison might pull away, Delaware State creeps back in. Back-to-back field goals. A 4-0 mini run. The lead is 8 with 3:27 left in the third. In Tykeer, I think this is why. You look at Delaware State's record. They've lost their last 4. They never get blown out, though, and we're seeing why. They just keep fighting. They never let a team get a big lead.
Right. And they've been in all these games. We see firsthand aggressive squad at times. Their shots just don't fall. I think it just comes down to that. Bison respectfully just have the better scores.
A veteran team, Delaware State, getting the steal, going coast to coast. The basket is good, plus the foul, as it is dropped in by Turner. Lyric Turner having herself a game off the bench.
I think that was Harris on the
Harris,
score
correct,
right there. But that's just a great take to the basket by her. Knowing that Howard is on their heels, I feel like Delaware State feels like the Bison are potentially on the verge of cracking, so they're going to continue to give them their best shot, foot forward, three-point play complete. We got a 42-47 ball game.
Harris has 6 points in the quarter. That was Harris, as it's now 47-42, a 6-0 run for Delaware State. And Ayanna Warner will walk this one back out, try to gain composure here for the Bison.
And that's what it's all about. You see Delaware, they're hype right now because they are in this ball game and they know that it could be very much winnable if they continue to chip at it.
Warren missing. Marsh the rebound. That's Kirsten Marsh, bread and butter. A third opportunity, no good. A fourth opportunity. And Marsh to the free throw line. Who is going to score without Hutton, Creek, and Thornton on the floor? It is Kirsten Marsh trying to answer the call.
And we call that right there stat padding. She got about 3 rebounds alone on that one possession. But Kirsten March, one thing that she's going to do is stick with a play. She plays so hard, and she really does get after it. So 7 points on the afternoon for Marsh.
So one more, or a couple free throws here for Marsh. Start of the year on the injured list. Something she's really worked on is that foul shot. She's played the past 4 games off the bench, was a MEAC Defensive Player of the Week a couple weeks ago, last time the Bison played, as she gets both of those free throws. A couple big one there, as the Bison lead is back to 7.
Her free throw shooting has improved. Last year, she shot only around 50% from the free throw line, so today we just see her focusing at the line. She has beautiful touch as the Hornets turn the basketball away right there.
And Marsh put pressure on Moore there, who had space, dribbling to the paint, forcing the turnover. And sometimes I think when we look at defensive stats, we think blocks and steals, but there's so much more to it, and that's one of those big defensive plays from Marsh as Howell is able to drill the 3, her second today.
And that is a big turnaround for the Bison. Just about a minute ago, we were talking about how DSU, they just had more energy than the Bison, and here the Bison go with that firepower. So many different people can score.
Law quiets the Bison bench with the runner. Lead is 8. A breakneck third quarter. Both these teams shooting at a high percentage in this third after struggling from the field in the first half.
We had to get it to Kirsten Marsh in that situation. So Ryan, let's give the fans a little bit of a breakdown of how things can go. So the game tomorrow, as we know, postponed due to some inclement weather. We don't know the status of how or when that will be made up, but what we do know is that the MEAC men's and women's tournament is March 10th through 13th at the Scope in Norfolk, Virginia. So with that being said, it's kind of cutting close and down to the wire. You have to get these wins in, and I believe that's why Delaware State is playing so hard.
Yeah, across college basketball, I mean, really everybody's facing that. When you get a game postponed, really at this point of the year, you start to think, where can this be made up? And sometimes it can't be. So these games have added importance. A win here today could feel like 2 wins.
Exactly.
To an extent, if tomorrow's game is actually canceled.
Exactly. March is going to be here before you know it. That March Madness, baby, you got to get ready.
And the Bison right now are 3-1 in the MEAC North. They're in prime position to win this conference, but they're going to have to take care of business, now up by 7 against Delaware State. The Hornets 1-3, trying to pick up a W as a foul is called. Kirsten Marsh doing Kirsten Marsh things, what she did last year, being active on the glass, getting to the foul line, making defensive plays.
So I'm a bit confused right now, though, because I thought the refs had called over the back on premise. I felt as though premise had great position for Delaware State, boxing out in the low position, pushing Marsh back. I thought that she had reached over her, but obviously it's the opposite, and which is why we see Marsh at the free throw line right now.
Rimmed off the first. Yeah, Primus, we weren't sure if she was going to play today. She got the start. She did not play against North Carolina A&T last time Delaware State was on the court. Good to see her out there in this third quarter. She's battled some injuries as a free throw is rimmed in by Marsh. And Michaela Minette comes in for her. Delaware State's going to try to make this a 2-possession game by the end of the third. Bison's biggest lead was 13, but the Hornets' senior load and 9 seniors in this roster won't go away. Turner's got a look. The shot's just not been there for her this season like it was last year. Howell has been firing nonstop today. That time she can't connect, was looking for a third 3. Turner pushing. Turner goes into Howell, draws contact, and to the free throw line. Smart move there by Turner. I think she recognized the shot clock, game clock, wanted the 2 for 1.
Yeah, and that's a great possession to the basket. She knew that she had Destiny Howell on her heels, going up in there hard and earning the foul. Let's just see if she can convert at the free throw line, get this free money.
So Lyric Turner to the foul line.
So looking at the floor for the Bison, just kind of scanning a different lineup in the game right now, that we typically don't see. Howell on the floor, Warren. We have Brooklyn Fort Davis and Kayla McNett. Sorry about that.
They often don't play at the same time, so it is interesting to see them both out there.
So it's a little different right now.
So you have the top 3 scorers, the 2 freshmen, Creek and Hutton, and then Jayla Thornton on the bench for the Bison.
Yep, and then Cashay Dixon out there on the floor getting some minutes, the freshman from Chicago.
Only a couple seconds difference between shot and game clock as we approach the end of this third quarter. It's been back and forth. The Bison up by 7. Right now, the Hornets have still won the corner by a point, and that's a takeaway. Hornets got a 2-on-1 here. Pushing in the front court is Collins. The runner around the rim, and an offensive foul is called. At least for now. I'm not sure if the officials will discuss and see if Minette was underneath, and that will be the call. It does stay. Collins is whistled for.
What I haven't seen players doing in this game is it's okay to shoot the stop and pop. You see that a player is set. I haven't seen anyone really make that decision. There's been quite a few charges called due to the fact that they're not shooting that pull-up.
Warren heaves it with the clock winding down, and that is how the third quarter ends. Bison still holding on to a lead of 54-47. Delaware State is not going away quietly. This will be a fun fourth quarter. Stick with us. Howard is trying to pick up their third straight win, go to 4-1 in MEAC play, stay tied with Morgan State at the top of the MEAC North. Delaware State just trying to pick up a victory. They've lost their last 4. They've all been close. They're 1-3 in conference. And the Hornets are hanging in there, Tykira. They've actually made more field goals than the Bison, 20-15. That's something you don't see often when the opposing team has 5 more made shots, yet you're still up by 7.
Yeah, and that's just a credit. Although they are making field goals, the Bison are making more three-point field goals, so that can make all the difference in the ball game.
And we'll keep watching Jayla Thornton. What a game she has had. 7 3-pointers. Speaking of threes, there's Collins connecting from the outside. The team's leading scorer this year has her second triple. And the Bison's lead is down to 4 with their first possession of this fourth quarter. Howard still going with the bench. Ty Grace is trusting the backups, and a travel is called on Michaela Manette. We'll see how long Coach Grace keeps Hutton, Creek, and Thornton on the bench.
Yeah, we'll see. She's trying to give them a break because she knows in the thick of this fourth quarter, she's going to need her star players out there on the floor. So we'll see what type of energy the productive bench players can bring to the floor for the Bison right now.
This senior-led Delaware State team can make this a one-possession game. They've not led since they were up 4-3. The shot is around and off. Coomber had it and lost it. Put back through, plus a foul. That is Demi Moore on the spot there, and a free throw makes this a 1-point game.
Hey, all I got to say, game is far from over, and at every turn, we see the energy continues to increase for the Hornets, and we got to see how the Bison are going to continue to respond and step up to the plate.
Bison led by 13 in the third quarter. The Hornets have it down to 2. As we have a couple subs getting set to come in for, it looks like Delaware State. Coach Grace is letting the reserves stay on the floor, though, for Howard. Ayanna Warren, Brooklyn Fort Davis, the only 2 starters out there. Howell to the point guard Warren. Trying to get past Coomber. She does. To Manette underneath. Had a position and puts it through off the nice feed from Ayanna Warren. That's 11 assists.
And that's a great response right there. A career high 11 assists for Ayanna Warren. So she's coming out smoking. Her previous career high was 8 assists in a game. And let's see how she can continue to lead the Bison with these assists.
Manette may have got a piece of that shot, and a foul is called. It's an offensive foul on the Bison. A turnover when it looked like Manette was going to get an easy 2, and now the subs come in for Howard, Jayla Thornton, Kerslyn Marsh, and Angela Hutton all check in.
Just very timely. I feel like Coach Grace was like, all right, it's a good time to put the starters back in the game and see what we can do in these last 8 minutes as far as keeping the lead and keeping the game on the Bison side.
The lead is 4. Delaware State keeping pace with the Bison. They can now make it a one-possession game. They went on a 15-2 run to make it tight. Coomber with Marsh on her, reigning MEAC Defensive Player of the Week, and a moving pick is called as Thornton took a shot. We'll see if she's okay. It looks like she will be. Just the wind knocked out of her.
That's a tough one, but Jayla Thornton, tough player. She's all right. You walk that one off a little bit. It'll be sore a little later, but as we know, she'll have some rest time tomorrow. So let's finish the game out strong if you're Jayla.
Yeah, tomorrow's game's been postponed against Delaware State because of weather. This is the only game the Bison get this weekend. Same for the Hornets, of course. And then a foul underneath as Hutton got tangled up with Moore. And Angela hit the floor.
Yeah, Anjanae, I think she sold it a little bit, though, too. I feel like basketball, right, the game of basketball, I'm going to give it about 10% acting. Because if you can sell something, you can get the call.
That play might have been 30 or 40%.
Yeah, it was up there. She did the little hurt walk after a bit, and now she's like, all right, I'm about to go to work.
Hal tried to draw contact. It looks like a good no call. I think both the defender was there at the right time, and Hal couldn't quite get the contact she was looking for. Lead still 4 for the Bison. Both teams a little cold over the past couple possessions. Law on Warren. That was a matchup we spotlighted at the beginning. Law and Warren, 2 top-tier point guards.
And they're definitely been going at it. Law has done some exceptional things in this game for DSU. And then on the other hand, Ayanna Warren, what can we say? 11 assists, really running this Bison team.
Warren gets past Law underneath the marsh. Make it 12. Ayanna Warren, the maestro today with the pass, 12 assists.
And coming into this game, Ayanna Warren led the MEAC with assists at 43 and now up to 12. Just doing an exceptional job as a point guard. But DSU not going away and not shying away, continuing to come back at the Bison. It's a 4-point game.
Sam with the up and under. Both benches starting to make some noise. Only a few parents are allowed to watch this game. Here's Thornton. Down low to March, and a bump in the back as that goes against Cooper, her third. So Cooper's got 9 points. 8 for Law. A couple players have 6. Collins has 7. It's the MO for this Delaware State team. Not one elite scorer, but a bunch of very gifted players. Yes.
Yeah, definitely balanced scoring. It's no one where you come into the game and you're automatically thinking, I got to watch out for this person. And that can be the scary part. The fact that it is such balanced scoring and anyone can go off on any given evening, or afternoon, if you will.
Hutton picked up the offensive foul. Takira, I want to ask you about that. I think sometimes, and you being a former player, I'm guessing that was almost more of the challenge. When you don't know who you have to focus in on, sometimes it is more of a challenge, I would guess.
Now, let me tell you, some of the best players that come out are the ones that coach decides to leave off the scouting report, and then you come out, you're like, what the heck? Who is this girl? She comes out and she's just cooking, and she makes you regret that you didn't even game plan for her.
Sam somehow got the rebound off that missed pass that went off the rim, and it led to an easy 2 for Bullock from the foul line. The lead is 2 for Howard. They've led since the early minutes.
The Hornets are locked in. They are making so much noise in this gym that has no fans in it right now, and they're producing their own energy, but Jayla Thornton off the mark with that one.
Hutton able to score as Sam may have flopped on that play. A gritty basketball game now. Both teams doing a little pushing and shoving, but it's been a clean second half. A lot of good shooting as well. It's not just been a sloppy game. This has been an entertaining contest between Delaware State and Howard. Law looking from deep. Can't get the bounce. Howell the rebound. Warren keeping up the tempo. Howell tries from 3. Can't draw iron.
I'm not a fan of that shot by the freshman Howell. Already just not the best of three-point shooters yet in her career, something that she'll continue to develop and get better at. But at this point, you only have a 4-point lead. Run some clock, get it back out. Perhaps give Jayla Thornton a touch, who has 23 points, 7 made three-pointers. Just wasn't the best possession, but we'll see if the Bison can make up for it here on defense.
Destiny Howell's taken 8 3-pointers today. She has made 2. And now with a 3, I guess the 4-point game. So a field goal gets it back to a single possession game here for the Hornets. Law thinks better of it. Now Cooper working on Fort Davis. Gets the up and under to go. Coach Ty Grace was yelling for a travel. What'd you think there, Tykira?
I think it was a clean up and under play. You know, one of the best plays that moves that a post player can do down low. And on the other end, Chrislyn Marsh with the answer, the junior.
Ayanna Warren, 13 assists. She gave that eating signal like she's eating spaghetti with a fork afterwards because she has been the assist master today. Continues to rack them up. Coomber into the double team. Tried to draw contact and couldn't. To turnover.
And here we go, running it up for Ayanna Warren. 13 assists with 4:20 left to go in the fourth quarter. I'll be amazed to see what she can finish this game off with. Like we said, not scoring a whole lot of points, and that is okay because her role has to be distribute that rock.
The Bison, a little bit of a run to give themselves some space as we hit the immediate timeout. 4:20 left to go. Howard up by 4 on the Bison Sports Network. Bison trying to close out the Delaware State Hornets. Every game so important in this MEAC season, with games being canceled left and right. Tomorrow's game between the Bison and Hornets has been postponed. So this will be the only game both these teams get this weekend after 2 weeks off. So a very valuable one for both Delaware State and Howard, as the Bison try to pick up their third straight win, leading 62-58. Jayla Thornton, 23 points, 7 threes, Tykira, but she's been quiet in this fourth quarter.
And, I want to say for right now, that's okay as long as the Bison can produce offense somehow and stay on top. I think the story has really been how Ayanna Warren has been able to get her teammates in the right positions to score and distributing the basketball, how she's leading with 13 assists, a career high.
Marsh tries to beat Coomber. Now Warren resets with 5 issues. She's going to have to score here. Wide open lane, and she finishes.
And just part it like the Red Seas. I love plays like that. The patience by the point guard and just going straight to the lane, left-hand finish. Gotta love to see it.
13 assists and now 6 points for Ayanna Warren, in a steal by Brooklyn Fort Davis. Warren ups a gear and now slows things down as she puts it in reverse. Warren to work on Law. Fort Davis gets room on the baseline, beats Coomber to the bucket.
And like we said, that is where Howard is tough. Different players at any given time can give you a bucket.
Lead is a 6-0 run and back-to-back turnovers for Delaware State, as their stellar performance is beginning to unravel in the end here. A couple turnovers. Delaware State, senior loaded. They don't quit, but Howard, that star power has been too much this afternoon between Jayla Thornton, Ayanna Warren, and company. Bison trying to finish this one off, up by 8 with 3 minutes left to go, and go to 4-1 in conference. Fort Davis hits from downtown. She had not made a 3 entering this game. She's got 2 today.
And that's just great confidence by the post player, stepping outside, feet are set. And she has a great-looking stroke. That's what I'm most surprised about, Ryan. Just nice-looking shot by Brooklyn Fort Davis. Great job.
A 7-0 run for the Bison as they try to pull the curtain on Delaware State, and a turnover by Turner.
And the tides have turned so quickly. At one point, really about 2 minutes ago, we have a 2-point game, and here go the Bison just able to run it up.
Harris to Thornton in the front court. Jayla wants another 3. Bank not open. It's tapped out of bounds. Last touch by Marsh. Maybe a little bit quick in the shot clock. It's tough to criticize a player who is 7 for 11 from 3, though.
I think the fact that her mind was so set on shooting the 3 that she shot it a little hard.
Sure.
You hear Coach David on the sideline yelling, "Shoot her, shoot her." And I think she shot it a little fast when, in fact, she could have just slowed up that 3-pointer, still walked into it and had a better chance of knocking it down.
Coomber
Nice.
gets past Marsh. Weak side rebound, Moore. Moore takes a shot, and Harris the board. The odds have grown long here for a comeback from Delaware State. Let's see if the Bison use the clock as their friend.
Nice.
Thornton, beautiful steal from Law as she came from behind. Bounce pass is kicked like a goalie by Harris.
Hey, I like that. She has on the goalie type, leg sleeves, knee pads, if you will, whatever those are down there. Quick feet, too.
That's a big play. That could have been an easy 2 for Delaware State. You get it down to 9 with 1:45 left. You're still in this, and now they have to reset.
Sometimes a kickball is the best way to save a play. That was just very heads up by the freshman.
Bison 140 away from moving to 4-1 in the conference, despite only having 1 senior. Delaware State, they've been in every game this year, but they're in danger of dropping their 5th straight. Beautiful pass from Law, but Coomber can't connect on the 3.
That was great defense by the Bison on that possession, because we've seen they've been trying to ice all game, which is meaning keep the basketball on one side of the floor, try to force Delaware State to make things happen just strictly on the left side.
Marsh with that strong left hand. Coomber alters the shot. Delaware State, the bench, screaming them to go. They got to get points within about 5 or 6 seconds. as Thornton forced Coomber off the three-point line. Rebound fought for between Marsh and Moore underneath. It will belong to the Bison, I believe, as the jump ball was a call and a timeout is taken. Howard up by 11 with 55 seconds left to go in Taikira right now. You can smell victory if you're Howard. Just nothing silly. Take your time and work this clock.
Yeah, there's no rush. If you're Delaware State, they'll probably be looking to foul at this point in the game and make Howard earn some free throws. And we'll see who Coach Ty Grace brings out on the floor and what she draws up. Mainly, the important thing is getting the ball in safely without a turnover and securing the possession, getting it across. And then I'm sure Delaware State will try to go for a steal. If not, you got to foul immediately.
It's one of those rare games. You rarely see this. Delaware State has 3 more made field goals than Howard, 25-22. And they're shooting better, 38% to 36%. The Bison have knocked down 12 three-pointers compared to 3 for Delaware State. They've been able to get to the free throw line more, and that accounts for the 11-point lead.
The three-pointers have been the difference maker. The Bison have made 48% of their threes on the verge of that 50% mark, while Delaware State only 20% made three-pointers. So, there goes the difference in that game.
And a timeout taken by Coach Grace as Howard was in trouble. The Bison were a little turnover happy in that first quarter. If you're going to lose to Delaware State with the style Delaware State plays, with not a high-scoring team, they're very good with the basketball. They force turnovers. That's how you're going to lose. You're going to turn the ball over.
Right.
Bison have really cleaned things up, and I think that's been a big part of the story as well.
Yeah, and in past games, the Bison have really struggled with their turnovers, specifically unforced turnovers and live ball turnovers, where teams have been able to get steals on them and go and score on the other end of the floor.
Howard has forced 20 turnovers. That's a rarity from this Hornets team to give up that many, and credit the Howard defense. As a horn goes off, players keep going, though. 40 seconds on the game clock, now 10 on the shot clock.
And it seems like the Hornets aren't going to foul. They're just going to play it out, and it works in their favor. They get the steal and a layup.
Law picked up the steal, and it leads to an easy 2. Lead is 9. I think that played out exactly how the Hornets want. Now, there are only 27 seconds left. I think here now you have to foul and hope for some missed free throws.
Yeah, but if you're the Bison, again, it comes down to getting in the ball securely. So I'm sure Coach Ty Grace is going to try to draw something up, perhaps a 4 across or some type of line play. Get the ball into your best free throw shooter, which is Jayla Thornton, who leads the MEAC at 90%. So, try to get the ball in her hands and send her to the free throw line.
So the Bison, as Ty said, Coach Grace in that huddle undeniably trying to draw out a play for Jayla Thornton to get the basketball. Let's see if Delaware State can block her off or not. Howard trying to run their MEAC record of 4-1. They're about 27 seconds away from doing that, barring catastrophe. Cross-court pass. It was not tipped. At least the near side referee says that was last touched by the Bison.
And everybody's saying that they didn't touch it. Well, somebody had to have touched it, but I'm surprised. So the Bison, I'm trying to see who's getting the ball back here. So Delaware State will get the ball back here, and there was no monitor checks or anything on that one. They just sort of let it go.
Yeah, referee Edward Matthews made the call. I think he was right as Law misses the 3. Skying for the rebound was Delaware State. The senior Law gets another look. This one is long. This time it's wrapped up by Marsh, and a jump ball is called as Coomber got 2 hands in there. And it will belong to Howard with 17 seconds left.
So, again, it comes down to the Bison are just able to make more three-pointers.
And a hold is called before the pass is thrown in. Tony Patillo, the far side official, makes that call. That's only the 3rd foul on Delaware State. They have to at least commit a couple more here.
Yeah, so they'll need at least 2 more fouls for the Bison to be in the bonus, so they do have fouls to give.
Both teams shoot over 35%, so solid numbers there. The Bison shot 48% from 3 in this game where there is plenty of energy, a lot of up and down, and it felt like a lot of back and forth despite the fact Howard has led almost the entire way.
Yeah, it was a back and forth basketball game. I credit Delaware State for the effort that they put into this game. They definitely went hard, made it interesting at a lot of points. I don't think they've led for long in this game. If they did, it was only in the first quarter, but for the most part, they played a solid basketball game.
Collins connects with the left elbow of Warren, and a foul is called. Only a second goes off the clock, but time is pretty much run out here for Delaware State. It looks like they will drop their 4th straight game. Their record will drop to 1-4 in conference. Still, though, with this shortened season, there is time. If they can pick up a couple wins, Morgan State and Howard struggle, they can get back into this.
So Delaware State and Coppin State, they have the same record in the North Division, where Delaware State would drop to 1-4, and then Coppin State, as we learned today,
falling to Morgan State, they go to 1-4.
So they'll both still be at the bottom. I think it's just as far as like who's going to pull it out. And Howard, they'll improve to 4-1. And them and Morgan State continue to sit at the top of the standings.
Warren will dribble this one out. It's fitting. She had a career-high 13 assists. Jayla Thornton, 23 points. I'll check with Pike here. Was it 13 or 14?
I'll give you guys that update.
Okay, sure. 71-60. Bison take the win today. They move to 4-1. They stay pace with Morgan State at the top of the MEAC North.
So a career-high 14 assists
There
for
we
the
go.
point guard, Ayanna Warren. 6 for 6 from the free throw line. You can't ask for a better line for your point guard in a game like this to help the Bison improve to 4-1 in the North Division of the MEAC Conference.
Big win for the Bison. They, as Tykira said, bump up their record to 4-1. Warren has 14 assists, 23 points for Jayla Thornton, including 7 3-pointers. And those were the two big stories for the Bison, as they were able to hold off a feisty Delaware State team who just kept in it and kept this thing interesting.
Yeah, for sure. And Jayla Thornton, 17 of those 23 points coming in the we'll see you guys back here at the Burr coming next, or excuse me, game postponed tomorrow, so we won't have a matchup again. It'll be quite some time. I don't have the schedule on hand, so I'm not going to fake like I do, but we